Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So, what was going on yesterday? So we had these buyers come in, and then we had this sell-off that happened. It was quite a long sell-off, and then the buyers came back in. So, I think it's safe to say that that is the bottom of the range, and we're going to have to break through that with a lot of vigor before we can actually think about calling that a top, or calling this a top. Anyway, so at the moment we've got tails to the downside and we've got tails to the upside, so that just indicates bob wire confusion. And if you look left, there's a lot of chaos to the left here that we are bouncing off right now. So not 100% convinced here. S&P's got some really good structure for a move to the upside, so I can only assume that the DAX will follow suit. Key thing here, rounding bottom, inverse head and shoulders, range favoring a break to the upside, whichever pattern you want to go look at. I know there's some books out there with thousands of different potential patterns, and I think, my experience, you get bogged down in all the detail rather than just looking at what's going on. So just take a seat, look back, and just, you'll see these kind of patterns all over the place. So, somebody asked me how I know that these moving averages work. Well, quite simply, sitting down every weekend, every evening, going back through price on different time frames and picking up the patterns. You can see they're all over the place. Anyway, same as with the levels. Which levels work? Do we take the inside tails or the outside tails? Definitely didn't just suck it out my thumb, promise you that much. A lot of back testing and a lot of money lost before realizing what makes money. Anyway, there's a couple of things that have transpired here on the 3 hours. So the first thing here is this break and retest. So spoke about it yesterday. It looked like a break. We're looking for a retest. So I suppose in hindsight that should have been what I'll be looking for. But again, as the DAX has been in this range, it doesn't tend to find the levels you're expecting. It always finds something that you missed. Well, I missed anyway, so I missed this one completely. If you look at this pin bar here, and that's where we came back to test, which coincided with the break of the channel. So for me at the moment, trend is up. Looks like a strong move up, flag, probably just building a base to break through 15,900 at the moment, I think. If I just look at what's going on in the S&P, we are still range bound though, so that's one thing I'd be very careful of. And I'm just going to adjust that to this swing high here and lock it in, because that's what we're bumping our head on. On the hour, can't really. So from an hour perspective, I want to see a break and retest before jumping in on this. Not really interested in this, but there's a very clear stop area. So, if you are going to anticipate a break here, you've got a 221 point stop loss. So just adjust your position side to accommodate for that stop loss. But if we just drop down to the 15 minutes, and while we're here, don't forget to hit that like button in that bottom right corner, and drop us a comment and share on social media. Would appreciate that. So just have a look at yesterday. So this here, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, and we're seeing a lot of them. Well, actually, inside bar, and then almost an engulfing bar, almost engulfing bar, almost bar, and engulfing bar, and then an inside bar. Lots of berry structure there, solid grouping of the oscillators before coming down for the first test of the channel break, and then coming to the next test of the channel break. So you can see this wasn't off a level, didn't hit the diagonals, didn't hit a level to the left, or decent level anyway, but this is where things started to happen. And then we started rallying. So range bound, no two ways about it, above and below the moving averages. I think for today, This is the first level to pay attention to, and then I'm a little bit skeptical here. That looks like a fairly decent level, but let's just add one more in because I'm a little bit skeptical. So those are the two levels that I'd be paying attention to. So the first one for this morning open is going to be 15,863. So you can see it's the swing high here. If I get a decent retest on that, that's definitely looking for longs. If that fails, I expect us to find some traction here at 15,808. Now, going to make this chart even more messy. The key thing that happened yesterday was a higher low. You see there's a low, there was a previous day's low. So that's a higher low and also a higher high. There's a higher high and there was a previous day's high. So we do have a bit of a tail because the market opened there. So we've got a bit of a tail to the downside and a solid and a little bit of a tail to the upside, but a pretty solid green body on the daily bar. So I would argue that we're probably going to break this range to the upside. You can see on the daily here, tail, 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 bit of a range bar that formed yesterday. So not a solid body, bit of a range bar. Typical, it was a range day. Look to the left, total chaos. And if you look at the oscillators here, diversions, you can see high, higher high, and then this is a lower low here. So yeah, I'm cautiously expecting this thing to break out to the upside, I think is the best way to explain it. We do have some gaps down here which I would be a little bit concerned about, but for me at the moment this is looking like a potential break. And one thing's for sure, if we do get a solid break above this that has got some momentum, the bears are going to give up, and that should give us a fairly strong move to the upside. So that's my view for today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you bright and breezy tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.